Passes 7-0. Item 8.3, request approval of negotiated agreement with Pinellas Classroom Teachers Association, PCTA. May I have a motion and second to approve this item?
I'll make a motion. Second.
I have a motion from Mrs. Long and a second from Mrs. Edmond. Mr. Hendrick, would you please introduce this item?
Happily introduce this one in the next couple as we talk about agreements with our different labor unions, and this one with the Pinellas Classroom Teachers Association. Our Chief of Human Resources, Ms. Paula Texel, is here to explain, and I want to echo the comments of Mr. Bryan, and we're grateful for all sides in our bargaining to reach this agreement. Our board members routinely ask questions of us about the agenda, and they submit those in writing or they call us, but typically submit in writing. And one of the questions from a board member on this particular item and others was, is this the earliest the district has ever been finished with negotiations with all of our bargaining groups? And Ms. Texel's answer was, we think so, at least in the last decade for sure, and the rules on bargaining and things like that have changed, but very early. And I want to thank all of our groups because we want to get our employees their money as soon as possible. And as Mr. Bryant mentioned, the money is what the money is. We see that, and so let's get it out. And so, Ms. Texel, I've stolen a lot of your thunder. Have at it.
I think you've said it all, Mr. Hendrick, but good evening, Madam Chair, school board members, Mr. Hendrick, and staff. I am super excited to be here on September 10th to present this agenda item to you for the approval of the tentative agreement with Pinellas Classroom Teachers Association. Again, I will echo my thanks to Lee Bryant, our president of PCTA, for his work during this entire process. Just give you a summary of the agreement with PCTA as average salary increase of 3.25% for employees in this bargaining group. In addition to the increase in the referendum amount of $639 they already have started to receive as of July 1st, raises will range anywhere between $1,500 and $2,000 for employees rated either effective, highly effective on their evaluations from last year. I'm also very excited to share that our starting teacher salary is now $54,000, and so that we have worked very hard on that over the years. You will notice in the agenda item the agreement with healthcare. School board will be picking up 80% of that increase in healthcare. Employees will contribute 20% of the increase. You'll also notice in PCTA that we have contributed additional funds to continue to increase our supplement positions, and that is a whole separate committee that looks at that and makes those recommendations, and very excited about that. The employees represented in this bargaining group ratified this agreement last week with 83% in agreement with this, in favor of the agreement. And if approved this evening, employees in this bargaining group will receive their retroactive pay to July 1st, 2024, and their increases in raises in their September 20th paycheck. I do want to thank not only Dave Richmond and payroll, but also my compensation team. They have been working very diligently, very long hours over the last week or so to make sure that this could get to the employees as soon as possible. So September 20th, which is right around the corner. Very excited about that. So on behalf of the superintendent's staff, we are recommending that you approve this agreement with PCTA.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? I would just share that since we're first presented with the budget in June of each year for the following school year, one of the very first questions that we have is, what about staff, right? It's the biggest component of our budget and the most important impact on our school day every single day. And so I too just want to echo thank you for, we start in June really when we have those numbers, and you start your negotiations and discussions, and so thank you to getting to this agreement. And I will also say very, very clearly, I wish it was more. And thank you for pointing out those numbers and statistics, Mr. Bryant, and we will continue to work on making that happen. So thank you very much. Any other discussion? With that, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 7-0. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is request approval of negotiated agreement with the SEIU, Florida Public Services Union, FPSU. May I have a motion and second to approve this item?